Birth of America, September 16th.
So we are back at the U.S. Open. Martina Navratilova has already advanced to the finals. Earlier, she beat Steffi Graf 6-2, 6-3. Now it's Chris's turn to move center stage, and she is matched against Hana Mandlikova. And you know, for every Chris or Martina or Hana who are at the very top of their particular sport, there are hundreds of youngsters dreaming of one day following in the footsteps of their idols here on the stadium court. But as our John Tesh found out recently, not only is it tough to become a tennis star, it's even tougher to be a tennis parent.
The champions walk to center court. It's a dream shared by any child big enough to carry a racket.
When I grow up, I would like to play tennis. I like competition, and I also like winning, and tennis is the best thing I do. And I win a lot in tennis.
Well, it's not so far-fetched that Jennifer Capriati will keep on winning a lot of tennis. Only 9. Jennifer is already ranked 4th in the state of Florida's 12 and under division. Her early success is due mostly to her father and coach, Stefano.
My mom and my dad used to play on the tennis court, and I used to pick up the balls for them. And then my dad used to hang a string with the ball attached to it, and he used to hang it up on the ceiling. And I always used to hold the racket, and one day I took the racket and I started hitting against the ball. After that, I started playing on the court with my mom and dad. And then after that, my mom used to pick up the balls for me.
But having a child tennis star means more than just chasing after a few tennis balls. In fact, a lot more. It means time, energy, and money spent.
All kind of problems, because you must sacrifice your life for them. You know, it's not so easy because it takes a long time. Go on the court, you must practice. You know, tournament takes time. It's not so easy.
Jennifer just recently played in her first tournament outside of Florida.
What's your name?
Capriati.
Oh, I don't remember.
Traveling allows Jennifer to meet stronger competition, and it's fun and exciting for her, but presents problems for Dad.
Financially, it's start the problem when we have to start play tournaments. The deal is when we have to start to travel, you know, come here, for example, it's too far away. And that, I think, is financial. I don't know if in the future I can handle.
But Jennifer and her dad aren't banking on a tennis future. That's a future that doesn't guarantee success. They just live and play tennis for the present.
I like competing with other people, and I like traveling all over the world, and I like winning, and because it's a lot of experience for me, and it's a fun sport.
Just happiness. I get happiness. She's happy. I'm happy to see her playing good. My wife is happy to see her playing good, you know. We don't get anything, just happiness.
And there they are, Hana Mandlikova and Chris Evert Lloyd, just moments away now from their women's semifinal here.
Hana Mandlikova on the left, Chris Evert Lloyd, of course, on the right. Women's semifinals. Evert Lloyd is 31, Mandlikova 23.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hana's 5'8", Chrissy
quiet, please.
5'5".
The match is about to
41
begin.
Grand Slam semifinals for Chrissy, 10 for Hana.
The only one Chrissy didn't make was a couple years ago at Wimbledon when she was sick, lost to Kathy Jordan. That's not to take anything away from Kathy, but everyone knew that she was ill. It's a remarkable record.
Mandlikova won the toss and elected to serve.
Love 15.
Here is how Hana got to the semifinals.
She only had some trouble when she got to the 4th round against Kathy Jordan, and that was expected, and that was a very tough match.
Good shot. That's just a good example of that athletic ability. Here's Chris Evert Lloyd's road to the semifinal.
As you can see, she had very little trouble in any of her matches. 6-4 was the most, 4 games the most anyone got off her in a set. So she's come along very quietly, very nicely, seated number 1.
Blessedly, it's a little bit cooler now. it was earlier today. Double fault by Hana. 15-30.
The girls were actually quite pleased in the dressing room that the men's match was taking so long. They said it might be playable, the conditions, by the time they got out.
That was a good, tough forehand approach by Mandlikova.
Hana defends her ability to play consistent tennis.
I try my best every single time in every single match, and it's always the other people who said I'm inconsistent. And you know, I think in my way I'm very consistent. I just think I kept my #3 spot for 2 or 3 years, and you know, it's just that the people see I lose then and there, but I'm still #3, and I think Martina loses, Evert loses also, but the people just don't want to see it. They don't want to say that they lost.
I think part of that would be to whom you lose. If you lose to someone, a lesser player, it makes it look like you're perhaps up and down some, as against losing to someone that's pretty much your equal.
It was always my feeling with Hana Mandlikova that she was so extremely talented when she was 17, and when we're saying this girl's going to win all the major championships within 2 years, and she very nearly did. She got to all those finals. And somehow with this type of game, I feel that you're going to win everything at 19, or else you go into this sort of leveling off stage, and probably when she's really mature, about 25, 26, she'll start deciding that she wants to win them, and she can again. Just a theory.
Excuse me. Chris Evert Lloyd to serve now. At love 1, first set. Pretty good theory, I think.
Still got time to see if it's right. And one of the reasons I say that is because a player with so many aspects to the game, you see the Lloyd family, John, Mrs. Evert.
Evert Lloyd against Mandlikova. Chrissy leads 18-3 and has won all 4 previous U.S. Open matches. And she also won the last meeting.
Hana did beat Chris earlier in Oakland earlier this year. She also beat Martina in the U.S. indoors. So she's beaten the 2 best. Triple break point for Mandlikova.
Second serve. Mandlikova.
Chris Evert Lloyd
Keely,
talks about the
2 love.
contrasting styles we'll see in today's match.
Well, I think basically Hana and I have different styles, and I think that she's going to try to play very aggressive and come to the net all the time, and I think what has to be working for me is my first serve, and also my passing shots have to be very crisp, and I have to really keep her deep in the court because her best asset really is coming in, and she covers the net so beautifully. So she's going to be very aggressive, and I'm going to try to counterattack her and you know, look for the opening shots.
Mandlikova serving.
Love 30.
Well, that was the sort of rally that Chris was looking for, to get to hit quite a few balls, because so far the rallies have been very short. Classic serve, swinging your opponent out wide and then volleying into the open court.
This is Chrissy's U.S. Open record, 15th appearance, 6-time champion, 3-time runner-up, 6-time semifinalist. She, of course, holds the U.S. Open record with 83 match wins. That's men and women.
Right. That's going to confuse him. The beeper went off before she started to serve.
All, Mandlikova won the first 2 games of the first set.
Hana had control of that point, and that's a sort of sloppy error right there, which cost her dearly.
Winner of 2 Grand Slam events, the Australian and the French. That was a good second serve.
Yeah, but Chrissy's way too deep in the court to return the second serve. There's a lot of spin on it, not a lot of forward speed, and Chrissy was 4 or 5 feet behind the baseline. She ought to be up around that baseline or inside of it for the second serve.
It was the second time exactly the same happened on the second serve point before in that court.
Advantage, Evert Lloyd.
Missed
Game, Evert Lloyd.
Mandlikova leads 2-1 in the first set.
Manage. To handle or direct with skill. Rockwell International Management stimulates.
Pat Summerall with Tony Trabert and Virginia Wade. Chris Evert Lloyd to serve. And 1-2 in the first set.
15 love.
And Chris struggled in the wind a little bit in the first game that she served, and she served 2 double faults. Now, it is tricky out there. It takes a little time to get used to it. She's better off to throw in her first serve, take a little bit of pace off.
Hana started to the late, started to the net, I beg your pardon, very late.
Yeah, if you decide you're going to go, you just have to get up there fast.
She got caught in no man's land, no woman's land.
Love. Game, Evert Lloyd.
2-2.
2 games all. Love.
Good serve and a better return.
15 all.
Stat for the 7 losses here, the Open for Hana have been to Chris.
Yeah, it's tough to get over that sort of record when you go on a match. You know, it's always in your past.
Terrific approach shot. Very, very deep in the corner. Double break point. Betty Stova, who coaches Hana Mandlikova, was an outstanding player herself. She lost in the finals of Wimbledon one year, wasn't it?
Yeah, to me in 77.
What a bad loss that was.
Thought you were being serious for a minute.
Evert Lloyd has won 3 straight games and leads 3 games to 2 in the first set. Evert Lloyd 3, Hana Mandlikova 2. Hana won the first 2 games. Chris has come back and won 3 in a row. Don't forget to be with us tomorrow. The men's semifinal. McEnroe against Wilander. That'll be first. Navratilova against the winner of this match that's going on right now, and then it'll be Von Lindell against Jimmy Connors. A reminder again, we start at 12 noon. Hana Mandlikova has just gotten a warning for abuse of the equipment.
What that means is if you get another warning, you lose a point, another warning, you lose a game, another warning, you're out.
You're out.
So there, it does have some meaning.
13 all.
You know, it seems to me that Hana makes more mistakes than necessary, basically because she doesn't have the courage of her convictions when she goes out against Chris. She doesn't seem to really have a strategy in her mind that she can fall back on and just make sure the ball goes in.
Well done.
She knows she has to be aggressive out there, but she gets a little reckless at times. There's our sugar daddy.
The chauvinist of all time, Bobby Riggs.
Lovable Bobby Riggs.
Cut down by Martina and Pam.
Evert Lloyd.
That makes it 4-2 Evert Lloyd. First set, women's semifinal.
Virginia, I think there's something else to that also, and that is that the game is so easy for Hana that she can make and knows she can make any shot. And so sometimes she tries things that look like low percentage to us. She thinks she can make them.
Well, that was also my point at the beginning, why I think it might take longer for her to mature, because she has so many choices to make with each shot. She can hit the ball several ways.
Good hustle by Mandlikova. Happened to get that desperation shot just out of Chris's reach. You can notice how Christie really drove that ball into the wind, and once it bounced, it started to be blown back towards the net. Hana had to slide forward to even hit it.
Mercer.
Another bad error. You see, I just don't feel that in her mind she knows exactly what the objective of each point is, how she's going to finish off the point and make the winning shot. The only way she really thinks she can do it is by hitting a clean smack winner. And that's just too difficult to come up against Chris with all the time.
Great shot. Chris didn't do quite as much with the first volley as I think she had hoped. And Hana, who moves extremely well, got there in time to be rolled it back cross court.
Yeah, she moved well to that ball.
She's a terrific athlete. She moves gracefully and very quickly.
She can do anything. Makes it harder to make the right choices.
Makes it 4-3. Evert Lloyd. Let's go to Brent Musburger.
Hi, Pat. Thank you. I'm with Martina Navratilova and Yannick Noah.